lots of things we could do. We could put this in a for loop and test that each iteration of the for loop asserted to equal we could use the array loop. So let's do that. Let's do dot for each. So this is the array for each. It takes a function and within this function we can pass the side, because that's the index of the array, the index value, and then we actually pass in the index. In a for loop, this is typically our I value. So we're going to cut that and move it inside. And then we're going to assert that the side equals the test array index. Now we can see that they're both passing. We're seeing that each side equals, each one of these. We could do an index of, because it is an array and we don't know how it's going to unfold. But let's just, for now, just know that they're going to equal that way. So let's grab this loop now. Sorry, we just want the loop. And replace this assertion. So we have this now moved down, and we can see that we're going to be testing each one that it happens, but this is kind of a fake test, because we're not really testing the whole length of it. Actually, we could be, because we're testing sides. So we're actually testing this third one. So one thing we're going to do is set test array equal to the array that's being put in at that moment, and just define test array as an empty array. So then what we can do is go test array dot push, and we can essentially push in a 3, because that's the same functionality that should be happening. And now our tests pass. So our dice add side works. Now something that's interesting to note is in test-driven development, we would write all of this first and see that our code is failing, and then go make our code pass. And what's really awesome is we've written the logic kind of already to prove that to make our test fail, and we almost can just copy that over and utilize it later. There is more stuff that we're doing on the dice side of things. There are more values that we're updating and stuff, but I mean this gave us the logic piece. And sometimes you end up making much more complex logic to test what your stuff is doing, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. So we're going to do this again. But this time we're going to test this roll method. So dice roll. And in dice roll, all we're gonna do is do var roll value equals dice dot roll. So dice dot roll is going to return a value, And so we're going to check that our dice roll value we're going to say true. So we'll say dice roll value. So index of, sorry, let's see, let's get a rolled random value. So we're going to roll it, and what we're going to do is do the index of and the array. We're going to use the test array because we know that that contains the same values as our dice array. We could use the dice array, but based on our logic, that should always happen. And we want to make sure that based on our controlled variables that we're getting a correct response. So this is going to return -1 if it doesn't exist. So we're going to say that this is greater than -1. So if it's greater than -1, it'll be true, unable to connect to any application instances. That's interesting. Okay, so that broke it. So let's do this. Let's do var assert value. And we'll just copy that and say that that's greater than -1. And we'll take this assert value and put it in there. It was passing before because the value was being casted to a boolean. So now we can see that our assertion for the roll is working. We could do one more. So I'm going to copy this, spell random right. So dice add side and roll. So we're going to do all of this, and we're also going to do the roll after. And we can see that even with the roll after, it's still all working. So again, all we're doing is we're creating our dice object, and we're rolling it, and we're asserting that we're getting values. So that's, now our dice spec, or our dice spec, our dice spec test is our dice file. We've verified that these values all set up the way we thought they would. We've verified that that our dice function sets up the way we thought it would, and that our methods run the correct way. So we know that our code works the way we thought it would. So with that knowledge, we don't need luck anymore in our coding. We know what we're doing.